I'm a mess. I mean, I posted something like a boomerang yesterday about being a mess. I'm a mess. Like a tearful, like Libra full moon, like mess. Like I took the dog for a walk today and angrily like walked the dog. I'm crying. So I'm a fucking mess. I don't know about you guys out there, but, and I don't talk about a lot of this shit for a long time, but I've come out of I had a very abusive relationship with my ex-husband. Like fucked up abusive, like the kind of shit that you can't wrap your head around it. And this Libra full moon, what it's basically doing is it's bringing us to very front and center to our messes, right? It's making us feel our messes. And it's like coming up like real fast and real quick, that like lack of self-worth, that lack of unconditional love, that lack of support, that knowing that you deserve something much better. And when you're going through abusive relationships, you deep down inside, your soul tells you that you deserve much better, right? It does. It tells you that you are deserving of like the pure love that you are giving your children and that you're giving your partner. And majority of the time you don't get it, right? And we go back to these people because it's the only thing that we know. We go back to these partners because we don't know any better. We go back to these relationships because we don't know any better. And then we beat ourselves up afterwards because, well, we thought that's what love was. The more that you start to heal and search within yourselves, the more that you understand this is not what real love looks like. And the time that you spend sort of trying to clear out this like pain that you feel, you spend a lot of time alone. And you start to question like what your life is actually means, right? You start to question if what you're doing is the right thing to do. And if it's better to be alone in this pain or being with somebody who's causing you pain. And at least you have somebody to hold you at night. This fucking moon is messing me up. It really is messing me up. I'm trying so hard to just like use all the tools that I have and power through it and know that even if I'm like crying or if I'm like emotional after a long walk and emotional after yoga, it's because I'm shedding. And this is what moons do. And not new moon, full moon. This is what full moons do. And the more that you connect to your source, to your soul, to your purpose, the more that you'll be able to ebb and wane through these moons. So the energy of the full moon is activated 3 days before and then 3 days after. And I know that a lot of you are feeling a heaviness inside your chest. And a lot of you are feeling a lot of heaviness in your throats. And I know that a lot of you are trying to question the decisions that you've made. I have been on a sabbatical of not sleeping with anybody and not really dating anybody, not really committing to anybody for 2 years. And I have a lot of sexual trauma. Fucked up sexual trauma. We all have a little bit of sexual trauma because we've gone through an excessive amount of fucking abuse by nasty ass people because our society doesn't allow us to find or be sort of like this like real love to ourselves and real love to others. I'm like overheating. And the sexual trauma, it anchors us to connect to bullshit people. And if you have repeated these patterns of being with pieces of shit individuals, it's not your fault. You don't know any better. And even when you start to know better, you end up spending a lot of time by yourself. And there's nothing wrong with spending time by yourself. It is important to spend time by yourself. I'm a mess. And that's the beauty about this life, is that the only way out is through. And I took a Reiki class this weekend, and I have been doing Reiki for myself, and I've had a couple clients, and one of the clients I had last week, great conversation. She is an incredible human being. My mentor so far, like I want her to adopt me. And we had a conversation. She's like, I've been going through this bullshit for so long, and I've been dealing with this bullshit for so long. I don't want to keep doing it. I don't want to keep feeling this pain. And let me tell you what, I don't either. I feel like shit. I feel like utter shit. I do. I'm emotional. I all this lack of self-worth is coming up. All this like, you're going to end up alone. You're not going to be able to survive on your own. And these are all words that my ex-husband used to say to me. You can't do it on your own. You'll never find the kind of love that I give you. You'll never find the love that you're looking for. And these are all things that are coming up in my brain right now because Libra is asking us to release this old belief that we do not deserve what we want. And we deserve exactly what we fucking want. It's manifesting. It's right there. You can almost touch it. You can't tell me you can't because I can. But you're allowed to get to a point where you don't believe it. You have to bring yourself right back up again and believe that it is real. And cry through it. I've cried multiple times today. I was on a walk and I was crying. This lady looked at me like I was fucking crazy. I am crazy. Just a little bit. Because I know that shedding, it's like coming out of a cocoon and being a butterfly the next day. It's exactly what it is. So I'm just coming on here and I'm doing this live because I'm going to save it onto my feed. And it's abrupt and it's just me saying it. My ex-husband used to stand over me while I was pregnant. I was on the floor. I was having a really bad day. And he used to say to me that I am an emotional child. And that if I needed any emotional support for being such a little girl, I should go back to my parents. And he would just leave me there on the floor, pregnant, crying, and leave. And go get high somewhere or go do something else. And it was one of the most fucked up situations of my existence. And today, all that stuff is coming up. It's rising up. And all you can do from the shit that you've experienced in the past, whether it was your parents, whether it was your relationships, or it was just yourself for self-sabotaging, I want you to hug yourself real tight. And I want you to cry through that pain and understand that it wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve that shit, but you have to shed it in order to find the sunshine that's right out there. It's waiting for you. Just connect to yourself. Allow this pain to flow through you. Allow the tears. Allow the flashback memories and embrace them as the past and know that you weren't deserving of them. That they didn't define you. That your partners who were abusive and pieces of shit were not you. It was them. The same thing with your children when they get off the bus and they complain that some kid was really mean to them or like a complete bully. Remind your children that it has nothing to do with them. That it has to do with the person who is being abusive because I posted about this before. Sometimes pain, internal pain comes out as anger. Sometimes internal lack comes out as lashing out at you. Sometimes what we feel, this imbalance and this yuckiness inside us, if we can't control our own emotions and actually sit down and cry them out and feel them out and yoga them out, we lash out. So I know you're hurting. And I know that you've been through some serious shit. And I know you're struggling. And I know it's hard. And I know that you don't know why you have to keep feeling this way. But I'm telling you right now, you are a beautiful human being and you gotta just keep going and fighting because there is so many beautiful things out there through self-love, through self-healing, through crying it out. You have to keep going. I totally get it. And it's a beautiful life. I love you guys. This full moon is kicking my ass and I'm here. If you guys need to talk or anything at all, just I'm here. So much love. I love you. I'm going to go continue meditating and yogaing it out and crying on my mat.